TV for my third video reviewing my fourth film, Sin City: A Dame to Kill For, with my friend, hello, Rebecca, who I went to the cinema to go and watch it with. Where should we start?
What did you think about the film?
Well, I think you have to look at the camera.
Oh.
I think it's there. I really liked the film. I liked the first one more, I think. Only because this film had like a lot of cast changes that was confusing
I felt very confused in this film.
Yeah, I know.
Because of the cast changes, but also because of the story line.
Why?
Because the one with Dwight,
Yeah.
and it was before he had his face changed.
His face thing, yeah.
And
I had
that
to Google that after,
Yeah,
just to
because-
make sure I was on the right track. Because you could be talking about it and it could be completely wrong. But
What
I don't
does
think
it
we are.
say? Because it said
Go ahead.
in the first Sin City film,
Mm-hmm.
Dwight was going out with this girl, can't remember her name.
Shelley,
Shelley, yeah.
played by the late Brittany Murphy.
Yeah. And like she was like involved with some dirty cops or whatever, and then he goes to Old Town, he kills the cops, but he doesn't realise they're cops until he's killed them and then he has to hide the bodies. That's the story in the first Sin City film. In the second Sin City film,
He's got a different face, but he's working as a private investigator, and his ex-girlfriend, the psycho crazy Eva Green,
yeah,
manipulates him into killing her husband,
and other people just for the sake of it.
And she shoots him in the face, basically, which is why I think he needs a new face.
And the big guy shoots him in the face.
Okay.
Like the big tank of a man shoots him in the face, and so he needs reconstructive surgery in his
Yeah, but
face.
she shot him twice. I'm sure one of them was in his face.
He gets shot
In the face.
and he needs reconstructive face surgery, so he goes to Old Town,
Yeah.
where he has his friends. Yeah, and they reconstruct his face, and then he looks like Clive Owen once his face has been reconstructed. And that's where I get confused, because if he looks like Clive Owen in the Sin City film, the first one.
But the thing is, I read on IMDb that Clive Owen was supposed to make an appearance as the after face.
Yeah,
But
it was
scheduling conflicts meant that he couldn't be in the film.
So they got someone else to look like.
No, it was still Josh Brolin.
Yes.
It was still him, but with like prosthetics or something on his face after to make him look a bit different.
Yeah, but my whole point is like his face, the face change happened
Before the events of the first one.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand. So like, that's why I was confused if it was the prequel. But it clearly wasn't, because Bruce Willis was clearly dead in this one because he had died in the first one.
Yeah, but the stories aren't related. They're separate stories.
They should make that clear.
It is clear.
I don't think so.
It is clear when you Google it and you see Wikipedia
Yeah,
and it has titles with
You
different
shouldn't have
stories.
to Google the thing. They should make it clear in the film.
It makes it obvious though that they've moved on from one person's story to another person's story.
This doesn't make sense. You know why I don't understand? It's because, you know when Mickey Rourke,
Yeah.
whatever, who does he play? What's his character?
I want to say Mitch, but that's not right.
What is it?
Marv. There we go.
Marv.
Where did I
Yeah.
get Mitch from?
But, okay, so throughout the whole time, basically he spends his time in the bar.
Yeah.
And he's watching Jessica Alba,
Her character.
what's her name?
Nancy.
Like dancing away.
Hmm.
And like while he's helping out Dwight in the film to help.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like he's in
Yeah.
like everyone's story.
Yeah.
Basically. I
But
think
it's like together.
I think that's like because he's in everyone's story. He's like the common, like
Link.
yeah, between all of them. I don't think it's confusing anymore. I fully understand it, but I guess for like other people,
Shush! Okay.
that could be one of the problems.
It
with
is very
Sin City
easy
and
to get
Dame Kill For.
confused with these two films. Because
Like how in the first like 10 minutes of Sin City 2, Marv's had like this tiny little story at the beginning where he's killing like these random people. Remember?
yeah,
That didn't link to anything.
that was his story.
Yeah, but his story was stupid. It didn't make any sense. It wasn't.
his
Was it
character.
before or after the events of the first film?
It just
Was it in
happened.
between?
It just happened. It's not relevant as to when it happened. It's just
exactly.
explaining.
So it was an unnecessary like 20
I
minutes.
think it was unnecessary. It's just showing, it adds to the film. I like his character.
I like his character, but I think his story was a bit like unnecessary. Eva Green actually. She's so.
Every time I see her, she just finds an excuse to get naked.
No, but to be
She
fair,
does.
Robert Rodriguez, who directed it, that's his name, right?
Is it pervert?
No, he always expects his actors to be naked in some sense. Like he wanted Jessica Alba to be naked, but she has a clause in every contract that she has. She has a no naked clause in her acting contracts because she doesn't want to do any type of nudity. And I read an interview online where Eva Green asks him, do I have to be in the nude? And he was like, yeah, you do. And then she was like, oh, now that I've watched it back, I can understand why. But really, when she was saying that, I thought it was like one scene of just like full frontal nakedness for like one scene. But no, she was basically naked for her whole story.
Film, yeah.
Which I guess if you're a guy, you're into that. That's okay. But I'm like, you're sitting there and you're like, you're trying to concentrate on what she's saying. You're just wondering why is she not wearing any clothes? Because in reality, her house is pretty drafty, and I would expect her to have more than like some see-through dressing gown on.
Maybe they had like
walking about
the place.
It's just,
I don't know.
but yeah, I really liked her character. What else did you like about Sin City?
I liked Jason Gordon-Levitt, Josh Gordon-Levitt, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That was close.
I really liked his story.
Yeah, his storyline was really good.
But his story was really good, and I was really surprised by how it ended.
Actually, tell her that. Yeah, I liked up to the point until it ended because I thought it would continue. I thought his storyline was too short.
Yeah, you wanted it to sort of go on a bit longer, because it was like, like this big sort of scandal came out, and then like all of a sudden all this action, blood, and it was just like, oh bless, you feel so sorry for him, and then you want him to like, anyway, yeah, his story was really good. I don't want to give it away if
that was a good story.
People haven't seen the film yet.
One thing I was disappointed with in the film was there wasn't as much action as I was expecting.
What, in comparison to the first one?
Yeah.
I think maybe they focused
there was
more
a lot
on the
less
story.
action. Yeah, they focused more on the storyline, and storylines are good. But
I reckon Nancy's story could have been a bit better though, to be fair.
Her story I liked the least.
Yeah, and that thing...
And the way it ended, I didn't like. I hate when films just end
stupid.
like that.
Like, abrupt. And you're like, oh, okay. Kind of saw that coming, but you could have like dragged it on a bit more, just to...
It was just like, bam,
put a nice little bow on it to say... Oh, but she did have sort of like a voiceover thing, didn't she? To sort of sum everything up.
I don't know.
Something, and it's always ending like, oh, in Sin City. But like, Bruce Willis was in it, and that is a really annoying thing where you have a major actor in it for like 5 seconds of the film.
Yeah, like,
and he's
what's his
introduced
name?
in the opening.
Oh, why was he in the main credits when he was in it for all but 5 seconds?
I know.
I do not understand.
Yeah, I thought he would have had a really big story.
That's what I thought. The way they probably hyped it up, like Radiator.
But then again, he wasn't really important because his story was part of Dwight's story. So it was all about Dwight.
But it wasn't even that story with Radiator was not even relevant.
It was to show that it was before he got his new face, and this is what he was doing before he got roped into Eva Green's like horribleness.
That would have had like that whole. But
you have understood it if you saw him just like Josh Brolin, not knowing that he was Dwight yet, and then him talking to Eva Green straight away, not knowing what the hell's going on, and then she's like, oh Dwight, I love you so much.
I still don't know what the hell was going on because it didn't explain what happened between him and her before.
But it gives you the impression that they had this really horrible relationship, and it ended 4 years ago. So that's all you really needed to know. Yeah. So what we didn't like was the confusion between characters and cast. It wasn't like immediately clear who everyone was it? There's sometimes the story development was a little thin and it could have been better. Eva Green, though I liked her, you found her a bit too naked.
Yeah. She was good in the film. She was just too naked.
Yeah. And having big stars like Ray Liotta and Bruce Willis just taking up the opening credit line is just not necessary at all.
Overall, what would you give out of 5 stars? What would you give it?
I think I gave it 4 stars, maybe, or 3.5, I think I'd say 3.5 because it did have quite a few. If you think about it, it had a few like drawbacks which could have been ironed out a lot easier.
Sequels are never ever as good as the first.
That's not true. Some sequels are better than the first.
Okay.
Rebecca,
You're welcome.
for helping me review. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it? And you
I
want
like
to do it again, don't you?
My eyes keep darting though, so I can't. Like,
Just you're nervous. It's fine. Just
no, I'm
pretend.
not nervous. I just can't. I feel like weird. I need to look around.
No, have eye contact with the lens.
I don't even know what part of the camera to look at. Do I look
The
at like
lens,
the?
like right there.